Hello and welcome back to At Ease No Media, where we discuss media related topics at ease. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's live session. Today we will be discussing about ethics in research. Why is this topic crucial? Because whether you are writing a paper, conducting a survey, or interviewing people, ethics guides how we behave responsibly. Ethics guides us how we behave responsibly. So let's begin. What is research ethics? Research ethics are the moral principles that guides researchers in planning, conducting and reporting their studies, especially when human participants are involved. Research ethics is nothing but the moral principles. This is very important. As far as human participations are involved, research must be moral. Think of it as a traffic rule for researchers. We can say research ethics as a traffic rules. This is just for example. Ensure no one gets hurt, no one cheats, and the journey is fair. So the four core ethical principles are according to globally acceptable guidelines. ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, is a guideline. Different organizations, different parts of research. If it's for social science, there is another organization. If it's for medical science, there is another organizations who are taking that research under consideration, the ethics of the research under consideration. So first of all comes the respect for autonomy. It means respecting a person's right to make their own decision. Example, let's take a great example where it is being said that if I am conducting a survey on mental health, suppose I am conducting a survey on mental health among students, I should clearly explain the purpose why I am conducting this study. And participation must be voluntary. So I cannot force anyone. So it's none of my authority. I don't have that authority to force anyone to indulge anyone into my study. So if I am conducting a survey on mental health among students, I should clearly explain the purpose, to whom I am conducting, I am taking a sample, and participation must be voluntary. They must volunteer their participation while conducting this research. If someone refuse to participate, then I must not take it. All right, I must respect that. So what is the keywords? That is consent, self determination, respect and decision. Now second part, it comes the beneficence. This means maximizing benefits while minimizing harm. Benefits must be maximized. That benefit, the research for must be for public good. What is the example? If a researcher tests a new educational app on students, they should ensure it helps learning and does not negatively affect mental health or privacy. Privacy must not be hampered. Privacy must not be affected. What is social responsibility? Researchers, it comes under a responsible part of a research, that researchers should work for the public good. Scientific rigor, then comes the scientific rigor. What it states? Scientific rigor means it follows accurate data collection. There must not be any malpractice. There must not be anything which must not be conducted in such a way that it change the direction of the research. It must not happen. So scientific rigor means it follows the accuracy about the data collection. It's in everything is under ethics, because it states no fake or malpractice data. Just for the sake of collecting data, I am collecting data, I am making names on my own, I am putting the statistics on my own, randomizing, I am taking a random number and I am writing it down. So that's not ethical. It's quite pretty simple, right? If I am going to collect the original data, if I am going to be specific about my research, then I have to be honest. Now the second thing comes scientific rigor. It's the why this ethical guidelines are being given, because there are certain projects, certain research works where malpractice, misconducts are being regularly practiced. Fabrication, making up data, falsification, changing data, and the plagiarism, the copying part. And in today's AI generated content, it is both a blessings as well as a disguise in blessing, you can say, because it's a blessing and sins to all together. Because with that huge information content, we are getting information, but at the same time it's becoming a problem for the researcher to conduct a ethical research. Hence copyright, like copying the content, plagiarism. There are different levels of plagiarism according to UGC guideline. In 2018, UGC gave different guidelines about the plagiarism part. As you can see here, it is level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3. So if a content is found similar 10% to some content, then if it's plagiarized, it gets level 0 plagiarism. That means 10% is allowed. We need to collect data, because we are not writing something literary fictional story. We are writing according to our old research, so we must get idea from our past research. So 10% is all right, but taking more than 60% is not right. Okay, so level 0 allows us 10%, that means minor similarities and no penalty. Level 1 states 10 to 14%, 40%, sorry, not 14, 40%. Level 1, if the content found 10 to 40% content is plagiarized, then that particular article must be revised and resubmitted in 6 months. That means the particular article, particular researcher will get 6 months delay if it gets 10 to 40%. So for level 1 we can expect 10 to 40% for level 1. The highlighted portion are most asked question according to NTA, UGC, NET and SET purpose. So next comes level 2, it is 40 to 60%. That means debarred for 1 year. If a content found level 2 plagiarism, that means 40 to 60% common, then the particular research paper will be withheld for 1 year. And if it's more than 60%, which is level 3, then that particular research papers, researchers registration will be cancelled. So to put it in a simple nutshell format, we can say level 0 means 10%, no penalty. Level 1 means 10 to 40%, that means 6 months of 6 months of suspension, you can say. Level 2 means 1 year, that is 40 to 60%, and if it's more than 60%, then the registration will be cancelled. Now if a student copies 50% of a thesis from the internet or from the artificial chatbots, then they may be suspended for a year if it's 50%. So these are the guidelines. Now non-malice. What is non-malice? This means do not harm. If a researcher interviews trauma survivors, they must handle sensitive questions with care and provide support resources. Alright, now next comes justice. Ensure fairness in selection and treatment of participants. Means they don't select only rich or urban students for a study on educational app. Include rural and poor students too. No discrimination. Now talking about general issues in research. Alright, if we talk about general issues in research, we can say that honesty, objectivity, integrity, carefulness, openness, respect. Alright, as you can see in 2023 there was a PYQ named Code of Ethics for Media Research is integrity, responsibility, professional competence. All of this. So from this section, this entire notes is made up of previous year only. If I can show you, these are the previous year of West Bengal set. Alright, so coming back to our topic, what I was discussing, the general ethical issues. So honesty, objectivity, integrity, it is pretty much self-explanatory. No data manipulation or false reporting. Honesty must be there. As far as ethics is concerned, the honesty of the research, it demands honesty, right? So objectivity means in the parts or in the different types or characteristics of research which we have discussed about objectivity. Objectivity means it avoids personal bias in a data interpretation. Let's take example of objectivity, that don't favor one political group in election survey. If a researcher is conducting something, so they must not objectify things. All right. Integrity means keep promises and commitments. Example, if you say that you will keep data confidential, you must. If you promise your respondent that your data are safe, then you must be integrated. You must keep your promise. Then comes the carefulness. And it is also pretty much self-explanatory. Carefulness means avoid errors and negligence. Example, double checking survey entries. You are conducting a data, you are conducting a research, you are collecting data and you are conducting a research. So it's no joke. You must be careful. Openness, your methods must be shared. In which method you are going to conduct your research. Shared methods and findings with others, and accept feedback. You must be open sharing your research data, as well as you must be open for recommendations, for feedbacks. And respect for intellectual property. In Copyright Act we have studied Intellectual Property Act, right? All right. So respect for intellectual property. Always credit authors from where you are collecting data. Authors, you must credit the patents, you must credit the copyrights. Now in PYQ, which I have discussed, this was the basic simple lesson where we discussed about the ethics in research. So thank you for connecting. Keep supporting At Ease No Media, where we discuss related topics at ease. See you tomorrow.